Go to rockauto.com.
All right, I'm going. Rock Auto, like car. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on a Craigslist looking ass site. What?
Look at their traffic.
This is
on
a Sam Parr
SimilarWeb.
classic here.
So this company, it's called Rock Auto. Rock Auto. I don't know why
Oh my
I'm saying
god,
so.
20 million monthly
Yes.
visitors.
Okay. So I was listening to an MMA podcast, Michael Bisping's podcast.
What is going on?
And he does this ad read. He goes, if you're buying car parts, go to rockauto.com. They've got every car part you could ever want. And I had never really heard of I know Toyo or something like that. Tires sponsors a lot of like sporting events. So I understand, like it's a lot of like meathead car people, but I never heard of an auto parts other than like Napa and the famous one. And I went to this website, rockauto.com, because they were sponsoring a bunch of the podcasters. And it's the most bare bones site I've ever seen. And I was trying to do research on it. And there's close to nothing out there. There's a few articles from like 5, 6, 7 years ago. But basically, it started by two brothers, I think in Michigan. They've got over 1 million parts. And the traffic is nuts. So according to SimilarWeb, it's like north of 20 million. And look at the source, mostly all direct. And so these guys, this
must be something that car repair shops go to order, or is this just customers are going?
No, it's meant for just individuals, just nerds, just guys who are tinkering, or if you just like,
wow.
For example, something broke on my car and I just need this little part. I could replace it on my own. It's just like a little like door handle thing. And so I was like trying to figure out where to get it, and they had it.
No way. So do they like inventory the parts themselves?
So they don't. So what they do is they connect with dozens of or hundreds of suppliers, and they just have this like intricate system of distributors all over the country, and they send you the part they need. And their goal is to have the one part for every car that you need. So if you ever need anything for a car, they can get their hands on it. You know, kind of like how Bezos said, if there's a book in existence, we should sell it. And that's kind of auto part. And I was thinking about this for a few different reasons. The first is with e-com, I was like, what doesn't Amazon crush it in? And they don't crush it in hardware. So like Home Depot style stuff.
Right.
HomeDepot.com is like the 4th or 5th or 6th, something like that, largest retailer in the world still. And they've not gotten hurt at all with Amazon really, or a little bit they have, but not in terms of like buying screws online. And another thing is auto parts, whether for cars or motorcycles. And
right.
So there's this company called Revzilla, who was recently acquired for like $500 million, and they sold motorcycle gear and motorcycle parts. And then I was looking at Rock Auto, and then I was looking at a bunch more, and it's incredibly fascinating because there's not that many new people in this space, but it seems like a pretty huge space. You know, Morgan Stanley had this report, and they said like it's a $70 billion a year industry.
By the way, I just looked up the CEO of Rock Auto. He looks like Jeff Bezos before Bezos got ripped.
He looks like pre-HGH Bezos.
Yeah, he looks like the before photo of Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I think it's interesting. I've always thought this space, because I something broke in my car, like I said, and I tried to like figure out how to buy the part, and it's a pain. It's a pain. But the problem with this is that you'd have to have so many SKUs. I mean,
yeah, like I'm looking at like BMW, like I have a BMW X5, or not even that. If you just go to BMW, it's like you can look at a car from 1939. It's like, okay, here's the models, here's the makes in 1939, and then you could find a part for the cooling system of the 1939 BMW, blah blah blah. Like
it's amazing, insane. Right? It's so hard. It's a really hard problem to solve for. But what's interesting is I don't think this is a demand problem, which is cool. Solving for demand problems suck. Solving for technology problems rocks. If you could figure out how to build a mousetrap, that's far better than figuring out like, are mice even going to go into this thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
totally.
So that's why
you want to be supply constrained, not demand constrained when you do something.
And it's just incredibly interesting to me. And I think in order to get popular on this, you just would crush SEO. And that's how you'd have to do it. And I think that you could do it by sponsoring a lot of YouTubers and things like that. And it's just an interesting business that I don't think has taken off or an interesting industry. I know Amazon's thought about going into that space, but it's
what do you
pretty
think
fascinating.
This business is worth?
I bet you Rock Auto. I was looking online trying to like triangulate some of their stuff, and I found some old interviews. But if I would think they have to do at least 100 million in sales.